here with me.
Not only does Max get trapped in Vecna's mind layer, but Sadie Sink's experience filming the scene really wasn't all that different. We'll be going through the effects, the set, the intense stunts, and bloody water Sadie had to carefully wade through, as well as the emotional aspects behind choosing the song Running Up That Hill. There were a lot of terrifying moments, scrapes, bruises, and some stellar acting involved in the making of this iconic scene.
Max. Max.
You're not really here.
Oh, but I am Max.
We know by now that the visual effects team on Stranger Things works overtime in order to give us incredible scenes like this. Now Vecna, when he told Max he was really there, he definitely wasn't lying. The actor, Jamie Campbell Bower, spent over 6 hours a day in the makeup chair to look that good.
If it was like a 7 a.m. crew call, he would have to come in at 1 a.m.
What?
The morning before, while they put the makeup on him as Vecna. And apparently, Jamie never complained about it. He was super patient throughout the entire process. When shooting the Mind Lair scene, that was the first time Sadie Sink had seen Jamie in his Vecna prosthetics. To say she was scared is definitely an understatement. Part of the reason why Stranger Things looks so incredible is that they try to use as many practical effects and set pieces as they can, instead of solely relying on CGI.
We always try to combine real art department constructed environments with these digital elements.
The director, Shawn Levy, wanted to make the actor's job as easy as possible.
The more you can practically build, the more you're helping your actor do their job.
In the shot where Max sees Chrissy's body mounted up on a pillar, Sadie actually had a real-life dummy to react to. They altered the way it looked with special effects, but ultimately, it was just a dummy covered in glycerin.
Chrissy's dead body didn't look as good as it looks in the finished product.
It's hard not to be impressed with the Stranger Things production team. They love to build as many practical pieces as they can. This set is no different.
Set was pretty impressive. It was like a full-on platform that was built on a soundstage.
The only part of the set they couldn't create in a practical way was the sky. It was surprisingly just a blue screen, but obviously you would never know after the visual effects team takes over. Otherwise, all of the major set pieces, like the pillars and the rocky ground, were built by the art department.
She was standing in a real rocky, bloody kind of pan.
Sadie had to be really careful walking through it because it was insanely slippery. She definitely left with a few scrapes and bruises, but we'll get into that in a little bit. One really important piece of this set was the winding staircase, which, of course, was a totally real, practical set piece. It played a big role in regards to the camera work and framing of the scene.
It allowed me to frame the expanse of the Mind Lair and to also do shots behind that staircase.
Shawn Levy finds it helpful to have a practical element like the staircase in the foreground when figuring out how to frame a shot. Before moving on, we have to give a shout out to Kate Bush. Max wouldn't have made it through this daunting set without her. Fun fact, the Duffer Brothers and their music supervisor, Nora, both separately chose Running Up That Hill to be Max's escape song. They thought the lyrics really rang true to Max's narrative of trying to overcome her trauma and complex feelings about what happened to Billy.
I am here, Max, to end your suffering once and for all.
Thanks, Kate. You're definitely bringing in all the feels for this one. Although Sadie had a lot to work with in regards to Vecna's scare factor and the highly detailed set, there were still a handful of moments where she essentially had to react to nothing. For example, Vecna's vines, which are a key component in the scene, weren't there at all.
None of that was there, so that was kind of just like strain my arms and my neck to make it look like there was something wrapped around them.
There were also quite a few wipeouts and intense stunts that both Sadie and her stunt double had to perform.
There was like a rope tied to my ankle and then dragged me across the floor.
Something else you might not know is that during Max's escape, you know, when things are crashing down from the sky, none of that was there either.
So Sadie is bobbing and weaving and faking it, basically.
The entire scene took about a week to shoot, and it had a strenuous rehearsal process. Sadie spent a lot of time in the harness in preparation for the cemetery levitation shot. So we've got everything, from the insane visual effects, the muddy, bloody set, to the brilliant performances that make this incredible scene come to life. What do you think was the hardest part of filming it? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for hanging out with us here at The Things.